Hi, my name is Manon and I'm a sex worker.
And I'm Jamal, and I'm also a sex worker.
This video is a part of a series produced by Smart Berlin, a professionalization and empowerment project, as well as an information and counseling center for sex workers in Berlin who are cis men, trans men, non-binary, and trans fans.
In this video, we are going to talk about an important topic of sex work and gender identity, being trans and doing sex work. So let's get right into it.
Although trans people have existed throughout history, our visibility and representation has been growing in recent years. For many people, recognizing our existence is fairly new. So, as a trans sex worker, many of our clients might be engaging with a trans person for the first time. While this can be difficult to navigate, as a sex worker, you can also take advantage of this excitement.
For example, as a transmasculine gay man and sex worker, most of my gay male clients have never had sex with a trans man before and experience it as something new to them. As a skilled sex worker, I can harness that unique moment, assist my clients in new experiences, and make it a selling point in which I am recognized as the unique person that I am. However, as a trans sex worker, you need to decide for yourself if and how you want to deal with the fetishization when doing erotic labor.
Gender is a hot topic, and a lot of things are changing. Nonetheless, we still need more positive changes to improve the situation of LGBTQIA people and to normalize talking about gender identity in all parts of society. So when people encounter somebody who is trans, non-binary, or gender non-conforming, and who they perceive as different or other, there can be also complications to the detriment of the trans person.
Insecurities can lead to bad communication. Excitement can lead to fetishization, and ignorance or unwillingness to learn can lead to us having to educate them, which is extra unpaid work and something we did not sign up for. We therefore ask clients and colleagues to do their part and inform themselves. We recommend sex workers to be clear about boundaries and what their services do and don't include.
Generally speaking, trans sex workers need more recognition and better access to resources and financial support. When it comes to representation, we are either ignored or have to stand as in the exotic extra. While being trans is an important aspect of our identity, we are far more than that.
Trans sex workers have always been an integral part of societal, cultural, and political movements, including gay rights and sex workers movements. It would be great if us trans people could get the respect and acknowledgement that we deserve.
Trans people, and especially trans sex workers, experience more discrimination or disadvantage when it comes to the housing or job market. And even within businesses like full-service sex work or pornography, we are often paid less than our colleagues who are not trans. It is vital for trans sex workers to receive equal access to resources and financial compensation. Sharing job opportunities and promoting each other's work are practical ways to begin overcoming these imbalances.
If you are affected by such inequalities, it can make sense to talk to other colleagues with similar experiences. Even those not affected by transphobic discriminations themselves can potentially support you. It's not uncommon for sex workers to share information about standards, work conditions, and experiences with each other, as we all need to learn from each other and uplift one another in order to thrive. We all need to keep in mind that differences in experiences and lived realities are okay and legitimate, and that some advice that works for cisgendered sex workers won't work for transgendered sex workers. Support needs to be based on individual needs.
As a trans person, you are often confronted with the projections and assumptions of others, while as a sex worker, these projections can be sexualized. People might make assumptions about your sexual preferences or your body. However, do not let other people's presumption tell you how you need to be or behave.
While you can use other people's fantasies to your advantage, it's important to feel comfortable with your work and that you can maintain boundaries and have them respected. Be clear about your own standards and the services you offer. Know that it is completely okay and normal to decline requests for something you don't do. Again, it is not your main job as a sex worker to educate others, and you can decide how much energy you put into difficult conversations that do not meet your standards.
Some trans sex workers also work with a different gender expression to the one they identify with in private life. For example, some trans women use a male persona and more masculine presentation while doing sex work,
while some trans masculine sex workers appear more feminine when at work. Non-binary sex workers might not mention being non-binary in a work context and can market themselves under whatever gender category seems most widely accepted by their client base. This is to make it easier for the sex worker to navigate complex gender issues and to make their work more lucrative.
Separating work life and private life is an essential basis for all sex workers, but can be even more important for those of us who are trans.
Having different gender expressions at work does not put your trans existence into question. Rather, it acknowledges that you are aware of gender codes and how to act to be perceived in a certain way, and that you, as a sex worker, are smart and skillful.
Generally, there are many workplaces where to do sex work, from strip clubs to brothels, from hotels to streets, from BDSM dungeons to saunas, and from porn sets to webcam shows. Unfortunately, for trans sex workers, these possibilities are limited. Due to this limitation, the amount of trans femme sex workers working in the streets is disproportionately high, while many strip clubs do not even hire trans women.
For me, as a transmasculine gay sex worker, many workplaces like brothels or strip clubs that don't exist for male sex workers fall through. In the spaces that do exist, like for example escorting, BDSM studios, gay saunas or pornography, trans men are often underrepresented and seen as new to the scene.
When trans sex workers are given the chance to use a certain workspace, they are often put into extra categories, using transphobic language or being in themselves transphobic. We are who we say we are, man, woman, or maybe another individually chosen gender definition. But we are not a third outside gender. Categories like trans, next to man and woman, really is just continued exclusionary transphobia and can entrap us. Because we are only being defined by being trans, while we are much more than that.
Trans people are also often hired only for being trans and in order to fulfill a performative diversity, not because of our skills. Don't hire or book someone only because they are trans. Do it because someone is skilled, a good and reliable sex worker, because they are hot and desirable. Trans people do not exist for you or your company to appear more inclusive.
However, workplaces for sex workers who are trans, men and women alike, do exist. There are many of us who are successful out there, whether they work in hotel rooms, streets, porn sets, or in front of their webcam at home.
It therefore is important that you get in touch with communities of other sex workers and trans people who might be able to point you in the right direction and who might have some tips on the road to success. Do not shy away from going your own way and stay independent instead of waiting for others to be ready for you.
All sex workers work in a difficult business with its ups and downs. Individual sex workers experience various privileges and discriminations, giving them advantages or causing harm. For trans sex workers, multiple forms of discriminations come together, especially when you are a migrant or not white or white passing. So while all sex workers have a lot in common, individual experiences can be very different based on your position within society and how it treats you.
It is therefore especially important for trans sex workers to stick together and have contacts to our own communities. Sure, it is enriching and beautiful to share spaces and engage with other sex workers across all genders, but since trans sex workers' experiences are so unique and complex, it is important to also have space for our own trans sex worker communities. And it is the responsibility of our cisgender colleagues to also let us take that space.
While there are some organizations and community networks by and for trans people, there are few programs specifically for trans sex workers. Of course, trans sex workers are present in spaces for sex workers of all genders.
However, in order to actively empower trans sex workers, it would not only make sense for trans sex workers to connect with each other, but also for sex work counseling centers, sex worker-led organizations, and trans organizations to think about how they can support trans sex workers in gaining spaces.
We hope we could give you a good overview of this complex topic. If you have any questions or feedback, feel free to contact Smart Berlin.
Thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, check out our other videos on various topics around sex work on our channels.
See you soon.
Ciao!